What's up, guys? This is about the fucking fourth time that I've tried to get this video out, but hopefully this will be it. So I wanted to talk about Star Wars Battlefront. The game came out today. Yesterday there was loads of controversy surrounding the game about the players, some of the players being locked away behind a digital paywall. Now, the players in question were Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Both of them were locked behind a 60,000 credit paywall, and the rest of the characters were on a 40,000 credit paywall. Now, I've had the game pre-ordered for ages. I've had it downloaded to my console, waiting for it to release for a couple of months. I've played the beta. I enjoyed the beta. I loved the whole battle point system where you could, earn battle points as you were playing to work towards spawning in as, one of the heroes and stuff like that. So I was kind of excited for the game. Now, yesterday when I watched the videos on YouTube and stuff surrounding all this, I was very, very worried. It sounded to me like EA's just dropped the fucking ball again with this game, because Star Wars Battlefront 1 wasn't very well received. And to be honest, this game's not out till Friday. This is early access. I won't really know how well received this game is, but I can guarantee you that it's not going to be very well received. But the game comes out on Friday, so we'll have to wait and see. But I thoroughly understand why people don't want to play this game. It is pay to win, which is bullshit. But I'm going to try and play both sides of the argument, because there are people out there that didn't really mind the whole heroes being locked behind a paywall as high as 60,000 credits. I've just watched some stuff with Greg Miller there, and there's a guy that emailed in and he said I actually like the idea that you have to grind for these characters, because then when you've got that character you can really show off, and that that person's grinded the fuck and really loves the game. But that's one person's opinion. But the collective majority of what people were saying is that this shouldn't be allowed. This shouldn't happen. I mean, there's people out there that probably would just prefer that everything was unlocked from the get-go. One of the main criticisms from Battlefield 1 was there was no progression. I was kind of one of them people that didn't feel like there was any progression in the game. Didn't feel like I was really unlocking anything apart from shitty emotes and different helmets for characters and stuff. So I understand personally, from a personal opinion, like my personal opinion, I understand why they've locked a few characters behind, locked them away for you to, something. Because it's something for people to work towards. Like they want to, like they feel like they're progressing and unlocking things. I mean, I've been playing for just under 4 hours, and I've already unlocked Darth Vader. Now, yesterday, if EA hadn't made these changes, this would have took me 40 hours to unlock Darth Vader. Now Darth Vader's 15,000 credits, as is Luke Skywalker. So that's not going to take you a lot of time to unlock these characters, and it's cool, I suppose, that EA have listened, but it's still very, very uncool that they try to oppose this and put this system in place. Again, from a personal point of view, I actually don't mind that Luke Skywalker's locked behind 15,000 credits, because that isn't a million miles away. I'm already on over 6,500 credits. I play a few more matches and play really well, and I've unlocked Luke Skywalker, so it's not an issue for me personally. And in one of the videos that I made and then deleted, I actually said that I didn't mind these characters being locked away as long as they were in a reach of in a certain reach of being able to unlock them, and not a million miles away like they were. 40 hours just to unlock one character for me is too long. But now they seem to have dropped it down and listened. They've still fucked this game up. I mean, the whole loot box system and this pay to win star cards, because I know star cards were in the first game, and you just unlocked them and equipped them. Now you've got to You can buy them using in-game currency. You can purchase them using, real-world money. You can get challenges now that give you experience and credits and salvage and crafting parts. But these loot boxes, I'm not a fan of loot boxes in general, and they are pay to win. They give you a little tiny edge on your competitors, and people are, you can buy loot boxes to get a competitive edge. These ones came with the game because I've got the digital deluxe edition that was 3 days early access and stuff. But I've just got for my assault. This is just an example. My thermal detonator that I use for this character has an epic blast radius of 7, and it takes it has a shorter recharge time, so I can use it faster than people that don't have that. So that's an example of how the game is pay to win, and that's bullshit. And you do get these star cards, or whatever cards they want to call them, these ability cards. You get them even if you log in once per day. Every day, if you log into the game, you get a free loot box. But I just wish they'd just take all this sort of shit out. Like, going back to the character thing, I was under the impression that this morning that all these videos that I was watching on YouTube about this game, that all these characters were locked behind a paywall. And when I logged onto the game this morning after work, I was very surprised to see that there was actually 7 characters already unlocked from the get-go. I was very surprised at that. And then in my head I started and I'm going to play devil's advocate here, that 40 hours to, let's say EA didn't change the paywall and it was still 60,000 credits to unlock Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. There's 7 characters there unlocked. 4 of them have lightsabers. Them 40 hours for me personally would have flown by, because I can play as Darth Maul, I can play as Yoda, I can play as Rey, I can play as Kylo Ren, I can mess about with the lightsabers and that sort of thing. I still have them lightsaber battles, and I think that the 40 hour stretch for me sounded a lot worse when I was under the impression that all these characters were locked behind some sort of paywall. So I was very surprised when I seen 7 characters loaded up, all ready to go from the start. I am pleased that EA has dropped and listened to the community. It's still a shitty practice. The loot boxes are still really bad. The pay to win system is still really shit. The game isn't all bad. This side of the game is what is hitting all the news outlets and the media and Twitter, and rightly so. It's getting a lot of bad press and it's putting a lot of people off the game. However, having played the game, and I'm going to talk about, because it's not all bad. This loot box system and pay to win is fucking terrible. It's inexcusable. And the fact that they were charging so much for these heroes and locking them away in such a fucking grindy way, and now they have fixed that side of it at least. I still think they've got to answer for the loot boxes and the pay to win side, because a lot of people now are saying that the game's fixed when it's not fixed. It's just easier to get these heroes that we wanted. The game itself is great. The campaign, I've started the campaign. I'm really enjoying the campaign. I'm enjoying playing the Empire side of things. I'm enjoying seeing what's happened, because it's all canon now. I'm enjoying seeing what happens, because the campaign picks up right after Return of the Jedi, and it takes you right through to The Force Awakens. And it's very interesting to see what happened after the Emperor died and stuff. The multiplayer it's tons better than the original Star Wars Battlefront. The game modes are, Galactic Assault's fantastic. There's loads of maps. They've even included the prequels. You can be the droids from Phantom Menace. Heroes and Villains is fun. Strike is like there's no heroes you can be, and it's just 8 versus 8 with like objective based. Then you've got the space battles and then Blast, um, and it's like a close quarters combat. But the game itself, there's nothing wrong with the gameplay. There's nothing wrong with the shooting. There's nothing wrong with the mechanical side of the game. The character models look great. The sound effects sound awesome. The music's great. The levels are awesome. Um, so it's a shame because it is a good game. It's I prefer this Battlefront 2 to Battlefront 1 to play, but this whole loot box and locking characters behind thing has just tainted it and it's spoiled it. You know, the game's not even out yet. It's out on Friday, and unfortunately, I think that this game's going to fail because of that. And I don't think EA are doing enough to. I mean, they come out and said that they're listening to people and they're listening, and I think that just because they've lowered the paywall, I mean, yes, that's good, and I think that's in a better position than it was yesterday. And I'm quite happy to play along and unlock Luke Skywalker next, and then the Emperor, and blah blah blah. But I still think they need to fix this pay to win side and deal with that because the game still isn't fully fixed. But it's a step in the right direction. But it's just a shame because like I said, I was under the impression that because Star Wars Battlefront 1 wasn't very well received, that this was them trying to make up for that game. And now they're creating more problems, and I don't know if it's the the developers that have decided this, or if it's the publisher. More likely it's the publisher, more likely it's because it's fucking EA. But yeah, I mean, the star cards, my Kylo Ren character is just maxed out with epic goodness, like, because these are the cards that I got with the game. So I can use pull. I have a 30% reach on his pull ability, and I have freeze ability has a 30% increased rate, so I can use that more than say. And these epic cards, I don't think these are available for anybody who just buys the base game. So I've already got an advantage over them people that are just going to play on Friday. The way they've got to get these, I think, is they've got to get the original star card and then level it up. I'm sure that's what. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I'm sure that's what was said. That these epic cards were only available for people that had the deluxe edition. But yeah, I enjoy playing with the characters. I enjoy playing the heroes. I was, like I said, but there's a lot to it. I mean, I've got something there that's epic, and that lets me do. For a short period after receiving Force Rage, restores a moderate amount of health on defeating the target. So I get 800 health there for doing something after defeating an enemy, I think. So a lot of it's pay to win, and it's a shame. But some of it's confusing as well at the same time. It's terrible, really bad, and I understand why it's getting so much hate. But we'll look at the assault. But some of these star cards are actually locked. Like, you can unlock one. So I've got this one here. If I want to upgrade that, because currently that's on, I do a regen delay reduction of 30%, and if I want to upgrade that to 40%, I've got to hit level 20, and I'm not even level 10 yet, so I can't upgrade that card yet until I play the game more. So it's fucking weird, but at the same time, and this is again playing both sides of it, because Star Wars Battlefront 1 didn't have a lot of progression. Maybe this is EA's idea of doing progression. I don't know. It's a pretty shit way of doing progression. I don't even think there's that many guns for characters. There you go. There's only four guns for each class, which isn't great. I think that's correct. Heavy. Yeah, 4 guns for each character, which is not a lot. There's loads of guns in the universe, but it's not all bad. Like I said, the business side of it and the credits and characters being locked away and star cards is fucking diabolical. However, having played the game is good. The gameplay's good, but then again, I'm dying a lot, so I don't know if I'm going up against people that have got better gear than me, because there'll be people out there that are buying microtransactions and stuff like that. So, but you can get credits in game. You can get the crystals from doing challenges in game. But you can. There is a menu where you can go and trade in real world money for credits and crystals, and that's in games. That's in other games like Overwatch and Shadow of War. And I don't really like pointing out the fact that Overwatch seems to get away with this kind of thing, and I know Overwatch is nowhere near this level of corruption, but there's still. I mean, I've been in situations where I've bought loot boxes in Overwatch when there's been a new event on, and I've bought 10 loot boxes, and I didn't get the skin that I wanted, and I'm just going to myself, oh, I'll just buy another 5. Didn't get the skin I wanted, oh, I'll buy another 2. And that's when it becomes that kind of gamble kind of side to it, and I don't agree with it. And I think that loot boxes should be abolished, and I don't think people should be like, well, loot boxes are okay in Overwatch, but they're not okay in this game, because I think that's a double standard. I think, shit is shit, and loot boxes are shit. There was shit in Shadow of War. That's the reason that game to me is one of the most disappointing games of the year so far. The 4th act was just such a hard grind that it was just totally obvious that they were just pushing you towards giving in and buying these loot boxes and getting your army sorted and stuff like. And I just think, we should just hopefully the one benefit that I'm kind of hoping that EA, they say they're listening, and lowering the credits thing is fantastic, and they just need to get rid of all this fucking star card bullshit now and try and sort of make that more of a appetizing system and try and fix it. But my only hope is that other publishers or developers that are thinking about doing this kind of shit have seen this backlash and seen, this Reddit post that was like the most downvoted Reddit post in the history of Reddit and all this. They've seen this, and hopefully they will, we can't take the piss too much. And I'm really like, hats off to the gaming community for like, the voices. It's great to see like people voice their opinion, and when the gaming community gets together and stuff takes the piss, like the Xbox DRM. Everybody was kicking off about that, and then Xbox changed that. When Deus Ex Mankind Divided came out and they would try to do that world pre-order bullshit, everybody banded together and spoke out about that, and then they changed that. And people are speaking out against this, and this has been changed slightly, and I think it needs to change a bit more. But like, the game's great. It's very authentic. Graphics are awesome. Gameplay is fantastic, and the game modes are fun. But this fucking loot box side of it is just, it's just tainted this fucking game. And if this game fails and falls flat on its ass, then it's the EA's own fault, because this, like I said, is, for me personally, this game was them. I was under the impression that they were trying to make up for the first game, because the first game wasn't very well received, and I don't think this game's going to get very well received. And then, if they bring out a Battlefront 3 next November, they really, it'd be a fucking joke if they, get a hat trick and fuck that up somehow. But I don't even think it should get that far. I think they need to concentrate on this game and really try and win people back. But gamers don't forget. That's the thing. You get one chance usually, and But never mind. It is what it is. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you again.